Hello everyone and welcome to Cracklex. I recently watched Guardians of the Galaxy Vol 2 at 0.25x speed and found 5 hidden parts you've never noticed. Now, with the release of Vol 3 just a week away, the idea is to relive all the amazing moments of Guardians of the Galaxy again so we can better enjoy Vol 3. And so let's get to the point. Detail number 1. There was a scene in the movie with a profile on a holographic screen that took place after the Guardians were detained by the Nova Corporation. In fact, I had never before noticed that when it was about a specific character, like Gamora, circles would appear on the screen around the characters' faces to match their colors, including Thanos, Ronan, Nebula, and Gamora. These circles have the same color as the character they are focusing on. For instance, Nebula's circle is light blue, Gamora's is green, Ronan's is blue, and Thanos' circle is purple. Detail number 2. The mystery surrounding Ronan's foot movement is why he does it. However, after rewatching it in slow motion, I can see why Ronan is moving his foot that way. So let's examine this scene more closely. Peter's cassette automatically begins playing Ooh Child by the 5 Stairsteps as the Guardians land on Stander. Ronan the Accuser emerges from beneath the debris a short while later. He then acts in this manner seen.
You're Guardians of the Galaxy!
Ronan was actually just listening to the song Ooh Child while he was filming, so he unintentionally taps his feet to the beat of the music even though all we can hear is the background melody in Ronan's voice. The music in the background of the movie may have distracted Lee Pace, who plays Ronan, or James Gunn may have instructed him to do so. In any case, it's a remarkable detail that many of us overlooked or failed to notice. Detail number 3. When Quill is packing to leave the prison, he discovers that his Walkman is missing. Gamora receives the bag containing the sphere from him, and he instructs her to wait outside for him.
Here, get them to the ship. I will be right back.
Gamora and the Guardians later discover that despite giving Peter her bag, he kept the sphere for himself.
You got the orb, right?
Yes.
They didn't know each other all that well at the time, and Peter did this as insurance because he knew that if he didn't keep the sphere, they wouldn't have a reason to wait for him outside. And now for a particular aspect for which I adore James Gunn. Peter opens the bag, but does not close it before giving it to her. The sphere is taken from the bag at this point after he moves the bag closer to his body and tucks it under his jacket. He played the trick while Gamora was paying him such close attention. Of course, Chris Pratt would not have performed this scene as well as he did if James Gunn hadn't asked him to do so and hadn't thought of the brilliant stunt he inserted. Gunn asked Chris to bring the bag close to him for a few seconds before handing it to Gamora because he knew devoted fans would rewatch this scene to see if Peter really pulled off this clever stunt. Detail number 4. The same sequence now gives us a hint about Gamora's past, which was amply demonstrated in Infinity War, where Thanos wiped out half of Gamora's world's population. However, take note of the statement in the summary that Gamora is one of the last survivors of his race. This implies that after saving them, Thanos never went back to her planet. He left without checking to see if killing half the population had been useful. But Thanos stated as much in Infinity War. Gamora's planet ought to therefore be flourishing by now, but this description confirms that it isn't. This demonstrates that Thanos is a sketchy storyteller. He would rather speak the truth he feels is necessary to speak, and it goes without saying that those who lie to themselves the most to justify their actions are the worst. Detail number 5. Why do you think Peter performed a dance and sang before his altercation with Ronan? He was actually trying to divert Ronan's attention away from Rocket and Drax, who were getting ready to steal the stone from him by using the Hadron amplifier. Because they believed that as long as Ronan had the Power Stone, nothing could harm him, Rocket and Drax decided to direct the Hadron amplifier at Ronan's hammer rather than Ronan himself. So their task was to pose build his stone to heighten his alertness. If you look closely, you can see that Peter's armbands are already glowing purple, the color of the Power Stone, as soon as the Power Stone separates from Ronan's hammer and he jumps for it. It turns out that the ownership of the Power Stone, which belonged to the Star-Lord, also known as Peter Quill, was already known. It turns out that Peter was always going to be the one to hold Infinity Stone. So I decided to tell you the 6th detail to make you happy. You see that Peter Quill's DNA test has a system error label when you view his profile. This suggests that Peter's DNA has weaknesses in some way, and rightly so, given that Peter Quill learns this from Nova Prime at the conclusion of Part 1 of the film. All of the characters were wonderfully crafted by James Gunn. His writing and directing abilities are unmatched, as demonstrated by the fact that he was able to make us fall in love with a talking raccoon, a comic book character that very few people were familiar with. I can't wait to see Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is a fantastic film. All the best, and I'll see you soon.